Jordan. Hi, how you doing?
Hello, nice to meet you.
Nice to finally meet you. I'm Brandi.Boyd.
Nice to meet you, Brandi.
You want to have a seat right here?
All right, thank you.
All right. You didn't find any trouble getting here, did you? All right. It's pretty cold outside, huh?
Yeah, just a tad.
All right. So I do want to let you know a few things before we do get started. Everything here is going to be that we discussing this session is going to be confidential. But if I see or notice that you can cause any harm to yourself or to any other, I'll have to share disclose that information.
Okay.
Also, you might notice me while I'm in this session taking a few notes. It's just a few notes that I have to take to keep for my record.
Okay.
Also, by starting by, if you don't mind, this is our confidentiality form. If you don't mind just signing here at the bottom if you agree with those terms. All right. So, Miss Jordan, if you don't mind starting with, what brings you here today?
Well,
I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that question. We know why you're here. Who is it that you've been experiencing cancer with?
my dad.
Okay. So if you're not aware that we do this organization, we are the Cancer Hope Network. I am a student volunteer from this network that basically, just to give you general information about our agency, we offer hope from diagnosis through treatment and into recovery. Also, we provide support for our patients, the caregivers, also survivors, and clinical trial support.
Okay.
Like I said, we do provide confidential support to all our people, such as the patients, the families, and the friends that's impacted by cancer. So not necessarily you have to, but this agency also train volunteers who may experience similar experiences, such as yourself, to match people that need our services, if that makes sense. All right, so as you were saying, you said your dad.
Primarily.
Okay.
Cancer kind of like runs in my family on both sides. So, like on my dad's side, his dad and his brother died from cancer, and then on my mom's side, it's been my great granddad, my great uncle, my granddad, and a few more people. So there's a lot to deal with.
Okay. And so let me ask you, how does that make you feel?
Vulnerable in a sense, because it's like nothing that I can do to like prevent it, like for myself or my other family members that don't have it, and then also it's nothing that I can do for the people that have been diagnosed, like when they're not feeling good and I'm not able to be there or like support them in a way that I feel like it's substantial.
Okay. So let me ask you, feeling this way, does it make you want to do something that, let's say, that you might regret or you never expected yourself to do?
I wouldn't say like in a harmful manner as far as like bodily harm. I'm a young adult, so like I might indulge in drinking or smoking sometimes more than not, but not necessarily to cause harm to myself.
Okay. All right, so let me ask you, what other things have you tried to use or to do to help cope with the way you're feeling?
Well, when he was first diagnosed, I know through the hospital that he's going to, they like offer support groups with like other family members of patients that also go there. Like the American Cancer Association, like they have different programs and things that they offer. So it's different things, but I haven't necessarily been faithfully going to these things or using these resources. So,
well, okay, with that being said, do you not think that these support groups and your peers around you, you don't think those are effective?
I wouldn't say that, because like I said, I haven't been consistent with them. Like I checked them out when it first happened, just because it was like it's more like hitting home. Not saying that all my other family members, but because it's my parent, it's like it was a little bit deeper than everybody else. But I definitely want to say that it's not effective because with my peers, like I know people who have had parents die at like much younger ages from similar cancers and things like that. So it's not that it's not effective. It's just like it's not anything that they can do or say that puts me at a certain level of comfort.
So what is your overall goal, or what do you plan to achieve out of this network?
I guess getting to like a mental awareness of where my emotions actually are within the situation. Because sometimes, like some days, unless I'm really talking about it like with people, I don't really feel overly emotional. But then sometimes, like if I'm talking to him and he's saying that he doesn't feel like going to work today or that he's tired of going to work, and it's like you don't want to do those things because you're sick. But if you weren't sick, like it's like your lifestyle has to be different because now you are sick, and I'm not used to him being vulnerable or not being, I guess, healthy like how he's always been growing up. So that's one part of it. Like the second part is that when he says he's not feeling good, it's like nothing that I can physically do to make him feel better. And then another aspect of it is just like he still continues to smoke cigarettes, which is like a coping mechanism for him. So it's like it kind of makes me angry because it's like you're not helping the situation, and you complain about not feeling good, not being comfortable, and wanting to be, stay alive and everything, but it's like you're not doing what it takes to stay alive. And I feel like it's selfish because you have 4 kids, and it's like, what are we gonna do because you decide you want to smoke cigarettes instead of not smoking cigarettes like during the duration of chemo and radiation and everything else that it takes to get better. So.
Well, let me ask you real quick. When was your father diagnosed?
February 28th, 2018.
Okay. Were you told right away when he was diagnosed?
Well, like leading up to that day, like he had been complaining about stomach pains for like maybe a month or so. So it was just like one of the things like, why don't you go to the doctor? At least to figure out what is going on. It wasn't necessarily that. That was my first thought because he's also diabetic, so it was like, okay, maybe your insulin levels are out of whack or whatever the case may be. So it was just more so about figuring it out. And then once he went to the doctor, like we had multiple conversations on the phone. Meanwhile, I'm still in school, so I wasn't at home with him like to go to these appointments. And we would have conversations, and it was just like the proof was in the pudding. Like it was like I knew, but it took him saying, like, I remember asking him, so does this mean that you have cancer? And he was like, yes, this is what it means. And I, like, hearing him say that kind of put everything into perspective, because at first, like, I understood that it was a tumor growing, but it wasn't like, oh, that means cancer, like, automatically. So, yeah, realizing that that's literally what it was just like a lot.
Definitely understand that. So just to be sure, I want to ask you. So you feel angry? I noticed you said you feel angry. Do you often feel like that when you're thinking about the situation?
I feel like I think I get not necessarily angry every time, but excuse me.
Bless you. Bless you.
Thank you. That's disgusting. But most of the times I don't necessarily get angry. But if I see him smoking or I smell it, or like I just see cigarettes laying around, it's just like, bro, like you're not getting it. And like it could be a conversation of that I'm being selfish in other ways, and it's just like, but this is your life. Like, the things that he can sometimes accuse me of, or like where I'm not being considerate of other people, and especially like specifically his feelings. It's like I don't know. So
This can be a very emotional topic. You need a minute?
yes, please.
Well, I will let you know, I'm not gonna ask you anything else, any further question, but I will let you know, I am a volunteer that actually has experienced that. My mother actually was diagnosed with breast cancer. So it wasn't the same type of cancer, but experiencing that pain and, the anger and all that, I definitely can relate to that. Would you like some tissue?
Yes, please.
All right. Are you feeling a little better? Okay, so real quickly, like I said, I know how painful that can be for you. I just wanted to go over a few other additional resources that I could provide for you. Well, like I said, here at this agency, we do provide, basically like to provide positive energy instead of thinking negative about the situation, you know what I mean? Also, do you live in Winston-Salem?
Yes.
Okay. So I've actually found a couple resources actually, and here's one of the brochures here if you would happen to take that with you. We also, there are in Winston-Salem, services such as cancer support helplines that are awesome. They're very beneficial if you want to call the helplines at any time, just to, help cope with those things, or just to hear another person's voice, like myself, that's experienced those problems as well. Also, Wake Forest, I don't know if you've heard of Wake Forest Baptist Medical Center.
Mm-hmm.
They have cancer support groups also for caregivers such as yourself and things like that. Also support groups for the patient. So, just in case if your father needs additional support groups and things of that nature, they provide those as well. Also, on here, if you turn on this page, palliative care. Now, there's a place called Trellis Supportive Care. The information is listed here below, but they provide care to our patients. And is your dad having trouble with, let's say, is he having trouble with doing his treatment and things in that nature?
In a way, because he's going to have to start over, just because the tumor is not progressing, but it's not shrinking either, to where he can just have surgery and be done with it. So yeah.
Okay, well there's also the ACA, which your father's probably aware of since he's been going through his treatment and things of that nature. So you know about the American Cancer Association. That's the nationwide voluntary health organization that's dedicated to eliminating cancer. Well, Ms. Jordan, if you want to, like I said, read over this, you're allowed to take this home with you and try to see if using some of these resources help with your coping with the diagnosis and the treatment things with your father. I can also give you a call for a follow-up if you're interested in about 2 weeks. We can set that up outside after we finish this, if that's okay with you. So, our goal, well, let's just say you went over the goal that you were going for. So I was thinking for next time, your goal could be helping you cope with these things, to addressing what we've just applied, to posing a solution, take a time to actually reflect, and to process the situation, not using other outlets and things like that to help cope with that. mind seeing me today. Thank you, Ms. Jordan. I'll see you later.
All right.
Don't forget the brochure.
Oh, thank you.
All right, you have a good day.
You too.